All right, Silat. It is June 3rd. We're moving along here. We'll acknowledge all the different martial arts that influence us positively, as we always do, regardless of our subject matter. So Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, and Japanese. And you know what? That's actually a really good opportunity is so when we think about Mafalindo Silat coming from Guru Inosanto, you know, he's done what he always does. He's gone and trained with as many different Silat people to kind of sample as many different styles as possible. And Mafalindo is his summation for us, his progression that he's developed to streamline our own learning. Penchak Silat Sarah, or sometimes you'll hear Sarak, coming from the Detroires brothers, and most of them now, unfortunately, have passed away. But Pendekar Paul Detroires, Pak Victor Detroires, and Willem is still alive. Uncle Bill, as they will call him at times. He's in Colorado, but Penchak Silat Sarah evolving into Bukti Nagara was hugely influential as far as Silat for the Inosanto progression. And we also have to acknowledge Mandi Muda, which is the late Pak Herman Sawanda. But the reason that I wanted to say that, let me go over, since we do this, let me go over, and I'll probably do the same thing in Filipino martial arts. I want to go over the full Sarah salutation so that you understand what you're abbreviating. And next week I'll do the same thing with Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do, since they share the same salutation. Okay, so you start here. If you want to try this, gentlemen, your hands are out, and I'm so sorry that that we're supposed to enter phase 1, and when we have some businesses open, I look forward to going out and getting a better webcam with a wider shot capability. See, I'm heavy on my right foot, and I'm very light. I'm so sorry. I'm heavy on my left foot and very light on my right foot. That as I start that, okay? So I'm in that posture. My hands come in and lay on top of kind of like my thigh or right above my knee of my right leg. My hands roll up. I bring them down, and I make my right hand is inside the left one. I make a right fist. So they roll up, and I bring it down and make a fist. It goes back up. I momentarily, I know I'm out of the shot, cover my eyes, and I cover my heart, and then I wipe. Okay, so let me, on the upper body, so I'm here. I roll my foot in, and my hands come up. I bring my hands down. This is my left hand, this is my right hand inside. I make a right fist. I go back up, cover my eyes, cover my heart, and wipe. Okay, and this is, and forgive me for qualifying it this way. You know, I taught public school for over 15 years. I taught for 12 years, and I was an administrator. I'm always very cognizant of religious freedom and not violating all the things that go with being a school teacher. So the reason I'm saying that, I consider this secular but spiritual, okay? And I know that's like, wait, what? If you know what those words mean, like, what are you talking about? You're not necessarily praying to some Indonesian gods. You're not even praying, but there is some spirituality here. So I hope I've explained that properly and nobody's going to get offended. That's the last thing I want. I'm teaching this more from the standpoint of your own learning. But this is, if you just want to watch, or you can follow along with me if you care to, this is, I present myself to the creator. In the beginning, I present myself to the best of my abilities. I ask from the creator and the knowledge of the art. I receive from the creator the things I cannot see, engraved upon my heart forever. Okay, so that's the salutation. It's very pretty. I mean, I just think it's above and beyond any kind of spirituality. They're truly like lovely sentiment. So that's when we do this. This right here is the abbreviated, that's supposed to kind of encapsulate all of that we just kind of went over. So I haven't really had the chance to present that to you, so I thought that I might do that. So gentlemen, as we talked about, I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to take a look at how curriculum is organized in my program. We're also going to get some physical training, but today we're going to kind of mix and match. And these uploads will be week 11. I haven't done this yet. I haven't actually. There have been times where I've grabbed the hard copy and then I've kind of walked it over to the camera. But here, you know, I thought this would be beneficial. Okay, so this one we're actually gonna kind of move through it. And you know what? I'm gonna take my computer with me, and the sound might change a little bit because I no longer have a microphone plugged in. Now I'm just using the microphone for from the laptop. Okay, so ground mobility exercises: seaweed, seat spin, and windshield wiper. So, you know, I'm just gonna kind of move through these, and if you'd like to do these with me, you're welcome to, or if you just want to sit and look at the written curriculum, that's fine. Whatever, there's no expectation, whatever you're feeling today, okay? But I thought this might be beneficial, is to kind of actually do the motion with the written curriculum, okay? You know, I'm an educator, even though I'm right now I'm doing martial arts full time, but I still consider myself an educator. Guru Inosanto is a retired K-12 educator. In my world, you have to have a textbook, okay? And the written curriculum is the textbook. I like things explicit. I like to know what the requirements are, and I wrote this progression coming up on 10 years ago, or I mean around there, okay, based on my training. So the seaweed is the one I saw Conrad doing it, you know, early. It's the high sawa, right, as opposed to the low sawa where it's tucked behind me. And the seaweed is the only switch for the high sawa in the entire system. And my curriculum, which I'll kind of give you an overview of today, is like 85, 90%, really 85 at this point, Mafalindo. So when I say the whole system, I'm really talking about Mafalindo. That's the only switch for the high sawa, okay? Then the low sawa, here's my seat spin, right? That's my seat spin. Here's my windshield wiper, okay? And, you know, the windshield wiper is a variation that really reminds me to say to you all again, and since we're recording this and it'll get uploaded, that your health is much more important than Silat, right? So, you know, I have a student and in Australia, a distance student, and he's a little older, and he just put together a gorgeous yellow EKIT exam, but he skipped windshield wiper. And, you know, I made him a note, like, you know, if you hadn't personally told me that you're having knee trouble, there's no way that I would know because he's moving so well. Excuse me. And so the point of a curriculum is a roadmap, and we want to get you to your destination. Your destination is proficiency, but your health is more important than Silat. So omissions are always completely acceptable if there's a valid reason related to your health. So windshield wiper is one of those. I mean, you all can see I'm on my really nice folding mats that I took out of my, you know, my Midtown Academy studio, because we were going to move into a bigger place, and knock on wood, thank goodness that didn't happen. We would have been paying rent on a location that we wouldn't have been able to use. So I'm in my living room right now. Even on these nice mats, windshield wipers a little, it's rough on the knees. So we always want to make changes, modifications to the curriculum as necessary. Okay, so ground offense. We're going to have, if I'm in my low sawa, roundhouse kick that goes all the way through, and I would do that on both sides. And if you would like to do that on both sides, fantastic. I'm just kind of running you through it. We're going to have side kick that has to arm and come through, and then we're going to have sickle kick. Okay, so those are the three. And normally I would have, if you're doing a test or an examination, I'd probably have you do, like I've said, 2 or 3 reps and then switch sides, and then demo the same kick on the other side. Okay, so stand-up game development. You know, I'll do a quick review here for you, but stand-up game development, Guyung 1, the attack T, Guyung 2, the retreating or the defensive T, Guyung 3, if you train Filipino martial arts, it's the female triangle, right? And then you have some, yeah, I see Conrad doing some of the variables that you can do. Lots of possibilities for variables on the high line with that one. Okay, and then Guyung, oh yeah, kicking off of Guyung 2. So we've looked at this procedure numerous times. What you really see me doing here is, you know, 3 reps, 1, 2, 3. Whichever foot is in the rear, we do whatever kick. So the first one's roundhouse kick, and I land neutral. And I would do that in both leads. Then let's say that this was rep 3, and I had worked my right side, and I would do side kick and land neutral. It's the same training procedure. And then the third one, 3 reps, both sides, the leg that's back. The one that's a little hard for people is inward crescent kick, and then I land neutral because that's the training procedure. So bear with me for 1 second. Just try those on your own, gentlemen. I'm going to mute my camera for 1. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. And this brings us into Southeast Asian hands. So we've spent a lot of time here on slide, split, Sickle. It's a different order that I've been teaching it to you, but diagonal gunting, vertical gunting. Okay, and please know that unless it's like a numbered thing, And even then, sometimes I don't really care about any kind of arbitrary order because as long as all the pieces are there. And I'm saying that because the last few weeks I've been doing vertical gunting before my diagonal gunting, and I would have sworn that was the order as I wrote it, but it doesn't really matter as long as all the pieces are there. The reason for having a written curriculum is just to make make me accountable so that, you know, students know the expectations. And if you have questions about anything, that's been such a cool part of having the online components is when people have a question, they ask. And sometimes, I mean, there's so much material here. Sometimes people, it's like they find something that, oh, okay, you know, well, what's with this? Well, that's an error. And thank you very much. You spotted an error. Let me fix that because I'm not perfect and there's a ton of curriculum here. Basic offense. We've spent some time with these as well. It's the same ones in the same order. And you can see inside leg sweep or leg sweep in front of the body or leg trip. Filipino, we call that silhig. And my preferred Indonesian, because I have more Pencak Silat Sera, and my traditional Silat background is Beset Dalam. So that's the leg sweep in front of the body. So this is the one, you know, if I split, I come into my straight arm bar, I sweep in front of them with my right leg, I knee the face as I come in and hook the supporting foot. Okay, and that video I know is minimized and I'm not going to show you multiple angles because we've been working that for so many weeks. Inside foot sweep is the one where I'm entering under the armpit with the anchor. My left foot sweeps the inside and my right foot collapses. Okay, outside foot sweep is kind of the harder one of the more challenging ones to come into. Maybe I split. I elbow into a right shoulder anchor. I knee into a shoulder line control, and I'm stepping outside their foot. And downward diagonal pressure with my hand, rising diagonal pressure with my foot. And then leg sweep or leg trip behind the body. So if I enter and step in behind them with my left foot, this is on their right, my left hand is on their right shoulder, my right hand is grabbing their wrist, and I sweep back. That's my number 4. Puter Kabbalah or Labai or head and arm throw is my 5. So maybe I split, I descend the arm, elbow the brachial, anchor with the left, underhook with the right, knee with my left knee, shoulder line control, pushing them away, lift with my right arm, throw their head through with my left hand. Technique 6 is the Kinjo. So, you know, I've shown you this before. Traditionally, we were taught, show them your palm with the diagonal gunting, hit them with it as you step in. So my right elbow is on their sternum, my right leg is behind them, and I compress until they trip over my leg, okay? Traditional or classical foundations, well, we kembangin all of section 5, so that maybe I, number 1, mix them together. Number 2, into a stylized. Number 3, review. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Okay, it's the difference. The difference if you're by yourself for section 5 and kembangin, when you kembangin it, you want to perform it with somebody with the authority of like you're demonstrating a kata, like you've really got it. Section 5, if you're by yourself, you have no partner, you probably would be explaining the technique. as you're doing it in the air because you're demonstrating your proficiency. You know, number one, well, I split entry, let's say. I grab their wrist with my left hand. I come in with my right hand. I force them down with a straight arm bar. I'm standing in front of them. I do the beset or the technique with my right leg. I know I'm going to lose a beat going and getting their other foot, so I knee them in the face as I step in, and then I sweep the supporting leg to finish the technique. All right, and again, this is, I'm trying to create materials so that people who are without a partner can still rank up and progress. So that's maybe what section 5 might look like. Now, you know, we haven't spent a lot of time. I haven't taught Penchak Silat or Silat Sunda Bahun in a while. So let me stop this share with you. Everybody can sit. And I've been kind of omitting this. So super briefly, I don't have a photo of him handy. His name's Guru Tharyana Sasangara. I know that's a mouthful with our simple American names. We usually just call him Guru Yana. And I've been training with Guru Yana, doing private lessons for some time now, over a year since I moved to New York City. He's in Inwood, which is the neighborhood at the northern tip of Manhattan. If you walk 10 more minutes north, you can see the river and see the Bronx across the river. And Silat Sunda Bahun is from the village of Sunda in Indonesia. And like this, my little Silat get up here, this is actually from Guru Yana. Very traditional system, and it's going to give us some interesting things. So I'll be here. So everybody take your left hand, put it under your right arm, and your right hand, this is my right hand, the back of your hand, have that facing outwards. This is going to be Jurus Satu, number 1, Jurus Satu. And the most important quality of Jurus Satu, just for one, I'm going to break out of this for 1 second, is this. This shape is what differentiates Jurus Satu, the first Jurus in their system. Both of my hands have to maintain that. Now, everybody play with rotating. Good. After you've done a few reps of that, switch sides. So here's the basic structure. And we can switch, do a few rotations, switch, do a few rotations, okay? Now, what's nice about this system, it is a traditional system, but it's not super nitpicky. Are you maintaining this shape with your hands? The hand that's high on either side, are you maintaining having the back facing outward? And the hand that's low, you want about the back of your hand right around your elbow level, but you don't want to be touching. And as I'm playing with this structure, if all those things keep happening, then I'm doing it just fine, okay? So that's our basic structure for the first Jurus, okay? Upper body form. When we say Juru or Jurus, upper body form. So upper body tools, we're using our hands, even we're seated when we're learning this, okay? 5 pieces of possible offense. So take your left hand, put it low, take your right hand, put it high. 1, 2, rising elbow. 3, outward elbow. 4, inward, and 5, down. So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so what might this requirement look like if you were going to put it on a video? Well, you sit and freelance. Do you have to do all of those? No. Like, do I have to run through all 5? No. I can just do 1 or 2 of them. If my mind wanders and I don't know what to do, I go back to rotation. So let's all try this together, okay? I'm going to watch the screen as I do this. Now you have all the pieces, and I'll quickly remind you, what are the pieces? Well, the most important structure is this setup and the ability to rotate on either side. That's priority 1. Then you have 5 possible pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I have to teach those to you in a linear fashion. Is that technique 1 and 2 and no. That's just, I learned them in that order. You're not responsible for at any point me like calling out number 2 and then you remembering it's that. Just, we have to have a linear progression. So there you go. Is that order any kind of a priority as to like what is most important? Absolutely not. It's 5 techniques that I'm showing you. Okay, so everybody take a side. And we are now going to just freelance. Your goal is to not stop moving within that structure. Okay, go. Keep going. Time. Good. Okay. So relax the body. What this is really supposed to give you is a template for perpetual movement where you're not inhibited by thought. That's why and that's the most important thing to take away. That's why I said if at any point, if you're like, well, I don't know what to do, rotate until inspiration strikes you. Just stay with that rotation and keep moving, okay? So let's go back here and I will kind of publicly acknowledge something, okay? So let's look at the entirety of yellow belt or yellow ikit, first level Silat. If you went through that whole thing and then at the end you were like, wow, that Silat Sunda Bahun feels a little tacked on there, I'm going to admit that you're right, because I've been doing this for 15, 16 years, working my way towards this material. This is something that I started doing in the last year since I relocated to New York City. All right. So you're seeing from a curriculum writing perspective, I'm trying to add in the Silat Sunda Bahun that I've been learning from Guru Yana. But the structure is that Mafalindo base. That's what guides a lot of this. So let's now take a look. Let's go to Orange Ikit, okay? And this is something, oh, and since I'm here, that's embarrassing from a former English teacher. I might as well fix that though, since I'm in my Google Drive. This is something that is under consideration. We've seen this before, 6 reps and then 3 in stand up and 3 in stand up. That might come later, because a lot of this is me breaking down step by step what you might encounter during an average Silat class at the Inosanto Academy. Okay, but so I'll go over this with you real. We've done these before, even if you don't remember them. I'm not going to do a huge amount of reps. Remember, the horseshoe roll was this one, right? This was our horseshoe roll. Our helicopter is a horseshoe roll with our feet making a helicopter motion, okay? And then we haven't spent a ton of time on rolling tripod. Next week, I will start to correct that. Rolling tripod can either be up off the floor and then I'm moving to my other side, or I do the version maybe where I'm injured or my wrists, I don't want to put any strain on them, where my rear end is on the ground and I'm going here, kick, here, kick. That's my rolling tripod. Ground offense, tuklau. So my tuklau we've worked on before. Tuklau can be on your rear end if you're having wrist issues or you're rehabbing, or off the ground. That's my tuklau, and I would work that on both sides. Okay. Spinning sickle. So spinning sickle, I always start with my rotation first. That's my spinning sickle. Then ground offense, bunga, roundhouse kick to spinning sickle. So there's two terms, bunga and bua. Bunga means flower. When we have flowers that have been removed from nature, they've been trimmed, we've purchased them. I don't want to be sexist. Sometimes, maybe we buy them for our wives, either for a special occasion or if we did something stupid, or hopefully just to be nice. But if flowers have been removed from nature, they still serve a purpose. They're ornate. They make the environment look prettier. They're pleasing to the eye, but they don't serve as much of a purpose as bua, which means fruit. These are Silat terms. So roundhouse kick to spinning sickle is something I can do for sure on my own. I have to do it on my own as bunga. When I do it as bunga, here's me roundhouse kick to spinning sickle, and I'm doing it on my own. Now again, that still serves a purpose, just like the flower detached from nature. But what would be better is if I have a partner. So for example, here, we'll do this through the technology, and both of you can actually do this with me. Both of you take your right legs and tuck them behind you in low sawa. Okay, so if you think, and Conrad, be careful because you're on hardwood floors, go slow, okay? If you think right roundhouse kick and you spin through to left spinning sickle, if I evade, you roundhouse kick over me, and then you spinning sickle, there we go. And you go through, roundhouse kick, Ivan, that's it. So Ivan, that was perfect, but before you go all the way through to the other side, give a spinning sickle with your other leg. So what I'm asking you guys, let me show you one time what I'm asking you to do. Here's your roundhouse kick to spinning sickle, right? See it? That's it, okay? So as you, and now Ivan, you freeze where you're at, right? So if I was your partner and we were training together, now I evade here. Go left roundhouse kick, you do it. Left roundhouse kick, spinning sickle. So if we were actually in the same, all of us, training environment and we were partners, When you do the offense, I do the evasion. All right, and that's it. And so if when we do it that way, partnered, even if we're not trying to take each other's heads off, that is bua. Okay, because it serves, and again, these are Silat terms, and you know, I'm an Inasanto person. I can't help myself. I'm going to teach you all the cultural aspects because I think they're fascinating. Okay, so when you do that combo in the air by yourself, it's bunga, it's flower. It serves a purpose. It's ornate. It's pretty. It beautifies the environment. When you do that same combo with a partner who's evading, and then you evade when it's their turn to kick, you're doing it as bua, and it becomes fruit. It serves a greater purpose. Fruit can actually nourish, keep somebody alive, provide nourishment. So bua provides a greater function, a greater purpose than bunga, because there, even if you're not trying to take each other's heads off, you're learning the timing, you're learning how to relate that combination to another person, so that if you had to fight with that material, the bunga would give you a better chance of doing so. Okay, so roundhouse kick, you do the same combo with a partner as bua, and then 90 seconds ground versus ground. We'll start, everybody's ready. We'll start kind of working our way into that next week, and we'll just do it through Zoom, because you're not really kicking each other anyways. You're kind of relating to the position of the other person. So we'll begin experimenting with that. Stand-up game development, Guyungs 5 and 7, and then you have some multi-kick combinations off of the same Guyung 2 progression. Okay, here I'm going to start probably just verbalizing this, and rather than teaching, because we're running out of time a little bit, and I want to give you a sense of where the curriculum goes. Southeast Asian hands, we've done this before, where we start adding in the cross. So now we have the 1-2 as the feed. We have the slide, the scoop, the split, slide, split, and you know what? I'm glad I'm here. This should not be here anymore. That's a kickboxing modality. And see, when I'm forced to go and look at these things closely, I find little things that need cleaning up. That used to be a requirement. It's not anymore. So 4 modalities for the cross. And why is that not a modality anymore? When people throw their straight right hand, we used to just scoop it. That doesn't do enough damage. And so it doesn't really belong in the Silat modality. It's good as boxing or kickboxing. No offense to those arts, but Silat's all about breaking bones or doing something illegal in the context of martial athletics, so it doesn't really fit. Basic offense, we've examined this too. Now they're in a right lead and they're feeding their jab, and you're doing the same basic 6 against all of those things. All right, and then you're doing your kembongan, and this is good for me because I thought I had written Silat Sunda Bahun up through the first couple levels, and I see that I haven't, so I need to go and address that. Here now for the 3rd level, Green Ikit, this is where really we want to be able to do 6 reps and then 3 and stand up, and then 3 and stand up for all of our ground mobility exercises. So I probably will save it for that 3rd level, even though you've all done that with me before. Now you're doing the first 4 bungas, excuse me. Oh yeah, you're doing them as bunga and bua. So roundhouse to spinning sickle, you already did that. Roundhouse to reverse spinning sickle, that's the hardest one for most people, is number 2. Roundhouse to sickle kick is very simple. 4 spinning sickle kicks is number 4, and then number 5 is 4 roundhouse kicks. Then you do all of those with a partner. So again, solo as bunga, and with a partner as bua. And once again, for the people without a partner, you would at least maybe have to explain it and explain what both sides, what the defense would look like. At least that way you can get to it. And then crescent kick 2, spinning outward crescent kick. Oh, these are supposed to be off Guyung 2. So let me, while I'm here, now, and here, gentlemen, this is where our kicking off of that Guyung 2 template is getting more and more complicated. At the Inosanto Academy, they have little cones. You'll go grab a cone and you do all your kicking over the cone. And you know where that's a really popular training modality is capoeira. All right, because again, there's a lot of infusion in the Inosanto lineage for the stand-up game development from the ground domain. I'll talk exactly about what those terms mean next week. There's a lot of infusion, cross-pollination between Silat and capoeira. The Mafalindo Silhig series, this is going to be pretty easy for you when we get here, because this is 9 different things to counter. And then you're going to follow up with technique 1 from our basic offense, the leg sweep or leg trip in front of the body. And I've developed for this, the Silhig series, a slightly different way of connecting into technique 1. And I'll start to show that to you as soon as I can. Oh, no, you know what? I take it back. So in basic offense here, we're going to add 2 more techniques for the head and arm throw. We're going to have a head and arm throw that we do with our leg, and we're going to have a head and arm throw. First, we take like a guillotine or a face lock, then we smash the person's face into our knee, and then we throw them with the head and arm throw. And those are going to become our basic 8. So we start with 6, and then we end up with 8. These basic 8, as you'll see, I'll kind of briefly do this. I'll kind of show you where everything goes. You're going to have so many ways that you can come into those basic 8 by the time you're done with the curriculum. Okay, and then actually it looks like I purposely left Silat Sunda Bahun out of orange, and then there's some here. So Kembangan, and then there's Jurus Dua, the second Jurus. Blue, you can see at this point, the ground has just turned into what we want to get to, which is the different kind of play modalities. Ground versus ground, standing versus ground, ground versus standing, and then freelance. And then this 45 seconds is just going to increase because it's 45 seconds per modality times 4 modalities. So you'll see that. This formatting got a little screwed up, but this is our basic 8, some of which we're going to take on both sides if we do a karasak, a leg shield. So the Silhig series was 1 throw taken off of, like, you take it off the jab, you take it off the jab cross, take it off the jab cross hook, off the jab cross body hook, lead kick low, rear kick low, lead kick midline, rear kick midline, Thai boxing 4 count. 1 throw, 1 technique that you can, all of those possible attacks, you can find that 1 technique. This is the opposite. This is 1 piece of defense, which is the karasak, the leg shield, into all of the throws, the 8 throws of our basic defense. We start getting into follow-ups here, so we're going to learn the 3 first follow-ups of 7 from the Mafalindo, the Lacosta armbar series. Then we also start with sarong or malong, flexible weapons. Purple, you can see ground up, ground and stand up hasn't really changed. Basic offense, we have a modality where your partner, say they're in a left lead, they give you a left lead jab, and you do technique 1, but you don't drop them to the ground. You let them stand up, they move in with a right punch, and you repeat technique 1. And you do that with, they would give you 1, 2, 3, 4. They advance with 4 straight punches, 2 in each lead. And you do the technique and retreat. But it's the same 8 basics. You already know 6 of them. We add number 4 and number 5 from the Lacosta armbar series, and we start with the Mafalindo arm hook series. We also start with the rocking chair to takedown, where somebody's standing, we're the ground-based player, we do a rocking chair, and then we have various ways to come up and drop them down. Okay, we have a ton of them. A lot of that comes from Herman Sawanda, the late Pak Herman Sawanda. We're adding more sarong, and I'm going to teach you a sambut from Penchak Silat Sarah. Brown, now we're doing 1-minute rounds. And again, I'm awfully sorry, this form, I need to go in, I'm not going to do it now and fix this formatting, because that's going to drive me crazy. Off of Hubud. So I'm going to teach you a movement generator from Panantukan or Filipino martial arts. You're going to take your basic offense off of Hubud. Okay, but it's still the same 8 throws. So see what I mean? You're going to be a pro at finding those 8 throws. The final variation for, or one more variation for the armbar series. We finished the arm hook series. We have more rocking chair to takedown. And then there's 4 variations. This looks a lot like Wing Chun when you see it, but this comes from Pak Herman Sawanda. We get some more sarong, and then we learn that sambut off of the other side. Then red, which is technically student instructor level 2. Now we're doing 75-second rounds times 4 modalities. I have a training drill that I call Silat Sombrada, where your offense and defense and offense and defense with all of your basic throws. We have just one variable, but it is like a lock flow on the ground. The final variable from Lacosta armbar series, we have the most advanced rocking chair to takedown variables. We have one very advanced sarong technique, and then freelance kembongan from any material from the system. And then when we get into black, it's essentially that you have it down. All right. And if you don't have it memorized, which is fun because everybody learns differently, that if you can do a cursory glance at a notebook, that you're good to go. Okay, so that is the Silat progression. Let's bow this class out, and we'll do a little bit more training while I use the visuals in the FMA. It's just a little bit easier to do that. But I hope that was beneficial. You at least kind of get to see the method to my madness and the way that everything lays out. So Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French, and Dog Brothers, Japanese. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to end this recording.